True indeed, true indeed. Now there's a church, and last week we were going on this. We were talking about the seven churches in the book of Revelation, the revelation of Yeshua, and we got to Sardis would be the next church. And the person from last week did ask about. Remember, we were talking about some of the titles that different variations of the Bibles put in there. Now this one says the dead church. These things I say has the seven spirits of God and the seven stars. I know your works. What are they saying to this church?
They were, now, for some reason, the assembly began to grow by their name. Suppose there's a great church, and the church began to flourish in the city of Buffalo, not by Yahweh, but they flourish in, let's say, let me get a name. I don't want to call a name. You think I'm talking about them? Let's say the church of, can you give me a name? I'm sure what I'm talking about.
I know, right? The church of Watch God.
Watch God.
Yes.
Watch God has a reputation. It begins to be social. They begin to have a lot of events out of the assembly. And they're living by that only. That has a name that you live by, but you dead. Your popularity, they begin to be popular name as you. We do this, we do that, we do that. Come to see what we are functioning in the community, and they're living by that only. But they're not living by the inspiration of Yeshua for the age to come. So they think they got a good thing going on. And Yeshua told the sinner, but you dead. Because you're not living by living to live again. You're living right now for this age and moment. What happened, the assembly became a part of the age, like a theater in a community or a social event in the community. And they were living by that. They had that recognition by that. Oh, what church you go to? I go to the church, Watch God. Oh, I know Watch God. Pastor Poindexter's Watch God.
Right,
and
right.
People are popular about that. And they're living by that. But in all reality, Yeshua said, you dead. You ain't living at all.
Oh, now.
You're not living again. You're living for this moment.
See, come on now. And then the next one would be the Church of Philadelphia. Now everybody loves a Philadelphia steak, but I don't think the cheese is what they're talking about in this book. What are they saying to the faithful church?
The faithful church had to stay strong. They were maintaining greatly, but the Church of Philadelphia, Yahweh said, now strengthen the things that are about to die. There were things that, or good things that were in them, and they had to maintain those things. So the message to that assembly was, strengthen the things that are about to die. In every great house, it is written, there's vessels of honor and vessels of dishonor. If a man therefore shall purge himself from these, it is written, he shall become a vessel of honor, suitable and meant for the master use, prepared for every good work. So the church at Philadelphia was holding on, they were maintaining, but there were certain things that were beginning to die, and Yahweh strengthened those things. Whether it be love, whether it be charity that was about the, kindness or compassion, the good things in the church of Philadelphia was about to die, and Yahweh didn't want that to do. In each church, he always addressed overcome. So each church is going through something because every message of every assembly, he didn't overcome it. He didn't overcome it. So that's something that the church of Philadelphia had to overcome. The good things that they had, it was phasing out. It was being weakened. If you got a bad cold, you got to treat that cold.
Well, talk about it. And there's a lot of people with that.
So there were certain things in them they had to strengthen unless it would die.
Listen, and I was looking just at that's down in verse 12. It says, "He who overcomes, I will make him a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go out no more. And I will write on him the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, and New Jerusalem, right, which comes down out of heaven from my God, and I will write on him my new name." Ooh, what's the new name?
The new name is, you look at the name Yeshua now, it is exalted forever. And when you look at that name, you're coming to Yeshua, believing in that name to overcome sin and iniquity. But the name will never change. It becomes new in the new age to come. It's the same name, but now it is upon us a new way because sin has been done away with. No more sin is in the lives of the believers. Now the name of Yeshua is not applied in our life because of sin and iniquity. The name is put on us in a phenomenal way for the age to come. So the work don't stop once we cross over.
Mm-mm.
Like right now, we use the name of Yeshua to overcome every weakness,
Yes.
to overcome all the works of the power of darkness. But when all that has been done, when all that has been accomplished, what do we look at the name of Yeshua for now? It comes to us a new way.
Yes.
Same name, but now it is not trusted and believed in no more because of sin and iniquity. It's trusted and looked up on for the work throughout the ages to come for great and phenomenal things. So the name is not changed. It's just believed on and looked upon and placed upon us a new way. Like New Jerusalem. It's said Jerusalem, but it's new.
Yes.
Because New Jerusalem is different than old Jerusalem today. So do you understand? So it's not a different name, but the name of Yeshua now is applied to us a whole new way because it is written, behold, I make all things new. Even new about the name now. Because the age of righteousness would have began. The kingdom of Elohim, members of his family would have been completed. Now the name of Yeshua is upon us, an authority that we have, in which our hearts and mind cannot be imagined. It's a new way. The name is to us a new way. Not sin and iniquity, no more. But for throughout the phenomenal works and throughout the energy levels we're going to have for ages to come. Because the work begins in our life if we can live forever. Right now we are limited. But what happens when the name is applied to us when we have an unlimited life? So the name becomes new. Same name, but a new way.
And you know what, Bishop? I'm over here and I'm trying to keep my composure because I love the way you just broke that down. And then the way that, and it's already like 6:55, so we have 5 more minutes. And I'm gonna be honest with you, technology on this end, I don't know. I haven't touched it in a few minutes. I don't know what's going on, but I thank God for the backup system that I was blessed to be able to have. Right. So as I'm not touching it, the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, watch how all things work together. This week alone, we kept saying, can you hear what he is saying? And the next thing, as we're saying, what's made new, when you're new, what is also new when you're applying things new, you hear different. You're attentive differently. And it says right here, he who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. So if you're really listening to him, and we talked about listening to him yesterday, we talked about listening to him on Wednesday and Tuesday and Monday. We talked about how do you make something clear? You got to hear. You really can't make sense of things or change anything unless you're here, whether it's your eating habit, your spiritual habits. So Bishop, before we go to the lukewarm church, how important is it for our hearing to be keen to his word?
Oh, man, when it's so important. When Yahweh got ready to dress to Yisrael the way of holiness, and there's a concept, it's shamak. That means hear, O Yisrael. Shamak, hear with intelligence, with the readiness to obey. Not only do you hear, be sensitive to hear Yahweh, but you must have a heart to obey him. And if you can't hear him, he will not direct the way of holiness, the way of victory to you. So hearing is so important to Yahweh in order to know his master plan or what he has purposed in your life. You got to hear him so you can understand why you were born, why the reason he let you be born. If you don't know the reason why you were born, then life is just not going to be complete when you don't know why I exist. And the only way you can understand why you exist, you got to be very attentive to what Yahweh has to say about you and why he allowed you to exist.
Now, when you speak of attentiveness, this church right here, the lukewarm church of you say the word. You know how I am.
Well, you know that lukewarm church, they were not for God, neither were they against it.
Okay.
They have enough knowledge to stay close to him, but they didn't have a devotion to go all out for him. They became lukewarm, and Yahweh don't like a lukewarm person. If they don't make their mind up to serve him, then he's going to make up his mind about them. He will throw them out of his body. I like it seeing with Elohim in Hamashiach. When you're lukewarm, when you don't want to serve him, when you don't want to be fervent for him, then he's going to vomit you out of him. Your life's going to become insecure. And because you saw all type of security for this age, but not for the age to come. I believe they said, I'm rich. I have no need of nothing. And Yeshua told the assembly, but you're blind, you're naked, you're miserable and poor. I counsel you to buy for me gold, that means righteousness, tried in the fire, that you might be rich. So the assembly was so lukewarm. They wasn't fervent for
So in a nutshell, the churches that he was speaking to, the seven churches, represents. Can you bring those seven churches together? What does that represent to us?
It represents the entire body of Hamashiach. What it has went through, what has been going through, that caused it to become weakened. And the message that Yeshua was giving them to come out of the weakness that has brought them down. Like this day and time of each believer of 2000 or this 2020,
Mm-hmm.
if they
Uh-huh.
begin to really look at the message of the churches, they'll begin to see the position that they're in and the position that Yeshua don't want them in, and to come out of it as individuals as well as a assembly. Each individual can make themselves strong in Yahweh, that they can be useful to the body. So
Mm.
it exists today, weakness in the assembly. Yahweh don't want it to be weak because he presented to himself a glorious church, but the church have to hear what he's saying to become glorious.
Bishop, you spot on, and I love speaking to you. And because it's the last day of the week for me being off, I've been kind of taking the show straight till 7 o'clock. And I can tell you one thing for sure: Satan is very, very aware, or I'm just gonna say aware of his devices. And sometimes I look at this platform and I say, you know what? Some of the strongest conversations are the ones that always seem to have the most technical difficulties. You know, up early, everything's working, and all of a sudden, right? So as I say that, I'm looking at some of the messages that still were able to get through, and three of them were for prayer. Prayer for, I don't give out the names of this type of thing, but I will say we're going to pray for suicide in these next few minutes. We're going to pray for your understanding of the word in the next few minutes, because I'm glad that you continue to hear what you could hear, and let thank you for checking in with them that. And then this last one, praying for my family. Can you pray for my family? We're all over the place. That's what it says. So one was for suicide, and that's something that seems to be trying to show its hand, right? And it's not new to us, but we declare and decree right now that you have no place, no power. Yet when we think of understanding the word, we declare and decree that you in all things you get understanding. And then when it comes down to the family, that's one thing that we stand firm on. Bishop, can you just take us out in prayer?
Mm. Eternal Father, we thank you for all things. I ask you to look upon the ones who seem to have no hope. Let them know that you're with them always, and grant them the hope to keep
Yes.
continuing. I ask in the name of Yeshua that suicide will back away.